What is up, guys, and welcome to another episode of Technique Tuesday. As you can see from the slightly changed background and the palm trees behind me, we're no longer in England, we're in Florida training for some tournaments over the next few weeks, and hopefully that should mean some more fun content coming in the future. But anyway, we may have a few dogs and children in the background, but just ignore them, it'll all be fine. So today's episode is going to be all about the arms, keeping them straight, keeping them relaxed, and as always, most importantly, why this is important, okay, and when this is important. So one of the main reasons that I like to see relaxed arms is because when we bend our arms like this, it puts a lot of the pull and force in our biceps and forearms and brachialis and all that kind of weird stuff in there, okay? And they're not big muscles, they're not that strong muscles. Whereas when we can keep those arms nice and relaxed, it puts all of the pull and pressure in our shoulders, upper back, lower back, lats, all the big muscles that we like to use. This means that we can hold a much stronger position. And as we talked about last week, it's all a power circuit, okay? It all comes back to the weakest link and how much and where we are losing that power, okay? And if we're using those biceps, that's a big waste of power where we could be using those big shoulder muscles. It means that we're not gonna be able to lean as much, we're not gonna be able to generate as much power. And as we all know, that means that we can't accelerate into that first wake and we can't create the rhythm that we like to see through the course, okay? So another reason that I like to see arms nice and relaxed is because when we pull those arms in, it puts all of the tension up in our body, up into our shoulders, okay? Actually, the pulls come in through our biceps, but it brings all of that pull from nice and low down when it's connected to our hips up into our shoulders, okay? And this makes it really easy to drop those hips back. And because those elbows are almost attached to the hips, it actually makes this a pretty strong position, but it leaves us unbalanced. Because our elbows are attached to our hips, it doesn't give us any sort of tension. When we're tall, when we're set in this position, it creates a lot of tension in the body. It actually makes it quite hard to move. So that means we can almost maintain our body position so much easier and really rotate and carry that speed into the first wake, okay? And I 100% understand that it's not as easy as just relaxing your arms, okay? There's a lot of things going on, but I think that first barrier is a trust issue. Do you trust that you can set a strong position and you can hold it all the way through those wakes? Or do you feel like once you hit those wakes, you need to move to correct? You need to have that tension to be able to hold on through those wakes, okay? And that's where I see a lot of problems. Often, if we can just relax and let those shoulders settle back into the pull, let the hips come up to the handle, actually that tension creates power in our body. It creates a strong position so that we can then accelerate into that wake. But some people just aren't ready for that acceleration. So you've got to make sure you're mentally ready to get a little bit more speed into that wake. And trust that once you relax those arms and let everything come away, you will be fine, you will carry a lot more acceleration, and you'll carry a lot wider line through the course. So now I've talked about kind of how, why, I want to talk about when, and this depends greatly for the speed. So if you're going on those slower speeds, but there's not as much of a pendulum effect going on, it's kind of a straight arms the whole way through. There's no need to bring those arms in, there's no need to bring that handle in. But once we start getting towards kind of the higher speeds and the short lines, actually off that second wake through that edge change, you'll often see a lot of skiers just tuck those elbows in, okay? It's not a pull the elbows in and come to here. They'll just keep that connection with the handle, they'll keep that handle a little bit closer. This just stops that handle getting pulled to the boat, okay? So once we get into those shorter lines, like I say, or those higher speeds even, it can be useful to, as we're making through that edge change, we're just bringing that handle with us through that edge change. So we're gonna cause a little bit of arm bend. So like always, I've said a lot of words, so I just want to put a little bit of a summary together just to hopefully bring everything back together at the end, okay? So first of all, look at your mental game. Are you trusting that your position is strong enough? Are you trusting that if you let yourself almost fall away from that handle a little bit, you let your arms relax into that position, that you're not going to have to adjust, that you're not going to have to move to settle for those wakes, okay? Trust that your position is strong enough. You put a lot of time into that position, okay? So trust that you are going to be able to get through those wakes without having to move, without having to adjust, without having to stop up, okay? And I promise you it'll feel so much better once it kind of becomes less scary, okay? So like always, thank you very much for watching. I really hope you found this useful. If you'd like to subscribe, like, comment, like my Instagram, all that other stuff, and I shall see you again soon next week, and hopefully this week I'm going to put a little training video together of one of my training days, so keep an eye out for that. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you all soon.